Kelly, I love having these behind the scenes conversations. And, this whole notion that you have out there is pretty interesting, which is pivoting to affluent clients. You said during a recession, during uncertainty. How many want to put that part? But can we talk about the beginning, just for all the entrepreneurs that are watching right now? The speakers, the authors, the coaches, the trainers, the network marketers, folks that own franchises. What's the biggest challenge that entrepreneurs have, even going after high ticket clients or affluent clients?
Sure. So the first thing I want to make sure that everyone knows is that high ticket clientele are actually different than affluent clientele. So high ticket selling actually refers to utilizing a mass marketing approach and using an ascension model to be able to ratchet people up, and to build that know, like, and trust with them so that you can make higher ticket sales. When you are selling and marketing to the affluent, you're going directly to affluent clientele. And the objective is to be able to solve their problems straight out the gate at that level, whether or not they've bought from you in the past period. So, one of the biggest challenges, people don't know how to do it. No, aside from me, there's no one else out there teaching it. So, they're trying to utilize mass marketing strategies in order to market and sell to affluent clients. And it's going to continually create a miss because that's not the way that affluent clientele buy.
Now, you can't just leave us hanging. You can't just say that's just not how affluent clients buy and just leave us hanging. But before we do that, that last part, my next question that I have for you, which I think is very relevant to the folks today, is what's one of the reasons why you decided to plant your flag, if I could say it like that, draw a line in the sand and say, this is my niche. This is what I'm going to do.
Sure. So, with my background, not only have I been in marketing my entire career. I am 47 years old right now as we film this, and I started working in the marketing, the brand positioning, and public relations industries when I was 19 years old. So I was still in college. That was my first internship. I got hired on afterwards. So I have a really extensive background, not only in helping companies and small businesses position themselves to become market leaders in their field, but also, I've been in this expert authority space for a very, very long time. So I know how to structure businesses. I know how to create highly profitable businesses, not only for myself, but for my clients as well. So I already have all of that background. But look, business coaches are a dime a dozen. And they're all kind of teaching the same things. It's just flavored a little bit differently. Some have more experience than others. And when I was looking at the marketplace and I was looking at, where the underserved potential of the market is, what I realized is that given my, aside from my corporate background, I was raised affluent. So my dad was a very successful entrepreneur. And we, as a result of that, I was raised in a highly affluent culture. And so I've been immersed there. I know what, Buffy in the locker room is saying, behind the scenes, right? And I'm willing to share that with people because here's the thing is that there is a difference in the way that they buy. They do have different specific needs. They're looking for different solutions, and they also have different challenges than typical mass market buyers. And so I knew that in serving the world in this way, not only could I help a lot of small businesses get way more profitable, but I also was going to be able to showcase that specific expertise that I have firsthand and be able to shore up that market niche. Also, from a business perspective, one of the things I teach is strategic positioning and creating that pole position of leadership in your industry. Nobody else is teaching this. There's been people that have tried to copy me. There's been people that have, tried to reposition it into high ticket selling, but people generally don't understand how to truly market and serve affluent clientele. And so it was a really smart business decision on my end to be able to do that because I've locked up the pole position in the industry.
Locked it up, which I love. And when you talk about positioning yourself, Can you take a moment to define what positioning means? I mean, just for those folks that are out there listening, it means different things to different
Sure.
folks. So what I admire most about you, not only help folks to be in the position, but then you also help them to execute the plan to actually transition to getting clients that are part of them. But just take a moment to talk about positioning. What is it? And then moving from positioning to, like you said, being the person that's selected.
Right. So positioning is the strategy, and I call it big P positioning and little P positioning. Your big P positioning is the perception that you are creating of yourself and your business in the marketplace. Not only in the marketplace, but in the minds of your consumers. So when they say to someone, like, I'll give you an example. If you ask anybody who knows anything about training or business development, and you say, who is the foremost expert in marketing to affluent clientele, they're going to say me, right? That's what's going to be said. And the reason why is because that is the way that I have communicated my message into the marketplace for the last, since I launched this program in 2007. So positioning is really about how you are going to be known. What are you going to be known for? Right? What is the thing that you are going to be known for in the market that is better or different than everybody else in the marketplace? And what you're looking for is, again, you're looking to create that category of one. If you think about, even let's use some mass marketing examples. If I say cola, what do you think of?
Coca-Cola.
Right. Coca-Cola, some people say Pepsi, although most people will say Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
If I say tissue, what do you think of?
Kleenex.
It's because they've positioned themselves as the market leader. In fact, so much so that people don't even say, can you hand me a tissue? They say, can you hand me a Kleenex? Right? Mm-hmm. So positioning is the art of being the category leader, and that's done very, very strategically. Then there's also that small P positioning, which is how you position yourself within the minds of your buyers. And that, there could be things like positioning your pricing, positioning your offerings, positioning your specific services. There's things like that we utilize in order to really stand out, become known as the first, the only, or the best in your industry.
One of the things that I admire about you is my dad always says, never argue with a winner. And you certainly have been a winner. And you have this not only you're talking about positioning, but you also come from a place of service. And talk about the importance of service. One of the pages that I borrowed out of the Kelly O'Neill playbook is this whole thing about personal concierge and having this personal touch. And I'm telling you, when I joined your group, and I've been in a lot of groups and started groups, I just felt like, you know what, these folks really care. And I went back to my team, true story, and I said, you know what, got to ramp that up. No, we post a lot of stuff. No, there's got to have this personal concierge, this touch. So people know you are trying to serve, you are trying to add value first. So I guess my question to you, Kelly, that's a compliment to you, by the way, but also to step back, and your team. I know you don't do the work. You get to hang out and do things.
We have the most amazing team on the planet. I'm so blessed.
But your team rocks in all seriousness. You can tell them I said it. Kelly O'Neill's team truly rocks, and they truly care. And I've been on the side. Kelly didn't even know it, so it probably doesn't even matter, but it's so important. So my question to you is, talk about the importance of serving and adding value as you talked about, getting high affluent clients to work with you, because that serving and value part, that it was amazing. I want you to know that, seriously.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's very important. So part of that is a cultural decision. So there are organizations that are sales over service, meaning that they're going to do whatever it takes to consistently make the sale. Generally what happens is that in that frame of mind, in that mindset, and the way that people show up in businesses like that, they're really always looking for the next client, the next client, the next client. I know from a profitable business perspective that is a terrible strategy. I mean, absolutely, you're going to have to consistently do new customer acquisition because you're going to have turnover for a variety of reasons, especially in a service-based industry. Either you fulfill the needs of the client's needs change. Maybe they just outgrow what it is that you're doing, or, like as an example, one of my companies is a brand agency, and in my brand agency, once we do their brand, like they don't need us for, another several years. So there's a variety of different things that create client turnover. And if you're constantly looking to just generate new leads, your clients feel that. They feel that they'll report back like they feel like a number. They don't feel served. They don't feel like you really care. Like if you've ever been in an experience where you felt like, oh, they cared until they got my credit card and then they didn't care anymore. That's a terrible way to feel as a customer. And let me just tell you, with your affluent clientele, they will not tolerate that. Like, that will not fly. So one of the things that I've done is within my company, I very intentionally create culture, which is why I have such an awesome team, right? Because we specifically choose people, and we could do a whole nother presentation on creating corporate culture because it's so important. One of our mottos is we are service over sales. Taking care of our existing customers first and our existing clients, and making sure that that is where our focus is all of the time. And the reason for that is not only do we want happy, successful clients, but we want happy, successful referring clients who are going to go to all of their friends and build our business for us. And I think people are really short-sighted when they're always just focused on the marketing and they're not taking care of their existing clients. So as far as organizational priorities, that's our first priority. And the reason that I'm able to create such a stellar team that has that is because we hire for cultural fits. We hire for people who really care about customer service. And also, the people we hire genuinely care about not only the business, but they care about the clients. And because of the structures that I've set people up with inside my organization, where they have the opportunity to make as much money as they want, right? The ball is really in their court, because I do a lot of profit sharing. I do a lot of commission, bonuses, that sort of thing. They're very incentivized to make sure that they're taking really good care of our clients.
So important. And if you talked about setting up a structure, talked about being able to bring on the right folks, I know we're going to get back to pivoting to an affluent clients during a recession, but I think this is very, very important because you got to have a team to service it as well. Can you just share this one golden nugget that you can look for when you're bringing someone aboard? I mean, I know that's a loaded question. People say, well, everybody that's nice and everybody that believes. But if someone said, you know what, I do need a service organization, I do need to make sure that the team is doing it, what suggestion would you recommend to that person?
I love this. Great question. So first of all, just so you know, I do want to dispel the myth. You can be a party of one and serve affluent clientele. You don't need to have a big organization. It depends on what it is that you're looking to do. But I have lots of clients that are they don't even have an assistant yet, and they are serving affluent clients extremely effectively. So I want to dispel that. But what I look for when I'm hiring someone is again, I have a very clearly designed cultural framework. Right? That's the core piece of this. So we're looking for our people, if that makes sense. We have a checklist. Think about this like if you're in the dating world, right? You've got a checklist of things that you're looking for. There's things that you're like, this is a deal breaker, this is not, this is something that is really important to me. And it's the same thing when you're hiring for team members. It's like we have things that are non-negotiables. And we have ways to find out what it is that their perspective is on that. And so we have a list of things that are non-negotiables. We have a list of things that are preferables. And then we have a list of things that are trainables. So we will always hire for a cultural fit over someone who has a specific skill set, because if you're hiring for performance, the people that we hire anyways are self-directed and they're go-getters. So I can go put them in a training program and I can train them up, right? I can get them the training that they need. So if you're just going down and being like, yep, they've got this skill set, yep, they've got this, yep, they've got that. Does that make sense? If you're just going down there and checking that, you're missing the boat. I want to hire people that are like one of my questions is, why do you want to work for this organization? What about this organization makes it so that this is the one you want to show up for? And that's a really important question to ask people, because if they're after a paycheck, an organization like mine's not going to be a good fit.
Mm. Love it. Now, let me ask a question. Let me address the elephant in the room, because there's a number of folks who watch Kelly. They're speakers or authors or coaches or trainers or experts, and they're folks who, when we pay more for what they know they can do, typically kind of follow the program, and other folks as well. We have a lot of financial advisors and health coaches and so forth. The question is, when you say go pivoting to affluent clients, some may be thinking, yeah, when I raise my rates and I try to talk to people about pricing, they always want to talk me down. So I end up giving them more than I'm getting paid for. Take a moment, if you would, and talk about the importance of knowing your value, for lack of a better term, and being comfortable, I'll say comfortable, asking for what your organization is worth when it comes to a pricing perspective.
Okay. So let me just tell you right now, your affluent clients are not going to nickel and dime you. Right? They don't want to be treated that way, and they're not going to treat other people that way. They're looking for good value. They want to make sure that they're not getting ripped off. Like, they don't want the other end of the spectrum, which is, oh, I have money, so you're jacking your prices up. They want value. And so one of the things that I teach my clients to do in our programs, one of the things that I teach our clients to do is to create a no-brainer offer. So I teach people how to structure their offers in a way that's going to allow them to ensure that their affluent client says yes. But your affluent clients aren't going to nickel and dime. That's generally more of a price-conscious consumer. And I will also tell you that when I have clients who come to me and they're trying to do that, I won't even take them as clients. Like, that's a deal breaker for me. Period. Yeah. Like, that's a no. Like, this isn't Walmart. I'm not looking to be the number one price competitor. We're a high level expert in our field, and so our fees are non-negotiable, right? So that's number one. But as far as you holding your value, again, you've got to be really clear in your value proposition. Your affluent clients are going to buy based on value. They're going to buy based on perceived or believed return on investment or return on energy. So when you've structured it really clearly, your value is going to shine through.
I like that. Now, you've taken a moment, you've broken down what is an affluent client. You've then talked a little bit about the importance of making sure that you serve. Then you talk about making sure you have infrastructure to serve, which is the HR component. And now you talk about making sure the pricing is in line. Take a moment to talk about the importance of systems. One of our philosophies is that systems beat goals every single time. And one of the things I know that you are is you're a system-driven person. So there's systems in place to support what you're doing. Let's slow down for a moment, then we'll speed back up and talk about having the right systems in business, not only to attract affluent clients, but also be able to serve affluent clients without all of your labor having to always be involved. I'll say it like that, or having technology or different systems in place. So the question, ladies and gentlemen that are listening, is systems that you have in place, the importance and why Kelly supports it.
Yes. So I teach something called the profitology process to my clientele, and it is a way to rapidly accelerate the growth of your company in a way that is also going to make sure that it is seamless, and you're not going to pull your hair out, right? So within this process, at the center of the process that I teach is how you show up as a CEO of your organization, and it is also how the systems and processes that you have in place. So I am a big believer in having systems and standard operating procedures, especially as you grow your organization, because otherwise you are going to want to pull your hair out. No one's ever going to do it the way that you want to do it. So you need to start building systems and processes the moment that you start building your, unless you're like, I will never have anyone work with me, then it's all in your head and you're good. But if you ever want to have anyone work for you, you need to start writing down the processes and procedures and systems in order to create the results that you desire. And they are by design. So as an example, we have a very specific system, and it's based on the different types of programs have different systems, but we have a welcome process, right? We have a process that we utilize in order to we have a welcome process that we utilize in order to welcome new client on. And, for some of our more affordable programs, it's a little bit different than, say, some of my private consulting programs, you know, where maybe we're shipping out a welcome box that is full of goodies to them, you know, that sort of thing. So you've got to be able to systemize what it is that you want. Now, here's the art and the science. You need to, when it comes to client service, you need personalized systemization. So you do not want to take the personal touch out of those systems. We actually know from market research that especially now with your more affluent buyers, if you do not have, and think about this for a minute, have you ever tried to work with a company where you cannot get a hold of a person?
I hate that. Oh my God.
Drives me crazy. In fact, in choosing technology platforms, if we're not able to get a hold of a person directly, we're not going to choose that platform. Right. So, you know, even being able to have like an online chat that's available, being able to give someone a phone number, having someone be able to get in touch with you, you know, all of these things. So I want you to think about, like, as you're creating your systems, and we have systems for everything. We have systems for how people book interviews with me. We have systems for how those interviews are fulfilled. We have systems for how they end up on my calendar. There are systems for how I am then prepared for the interviews to make sure that I can show up and rock it for you guys. Right? There's systems for follow-up. There's systems for promoting those interviews to make sure that we're supporting and fulfilling our obligations whenever we are being interviewed by someone. And so there's all sorts of systems that we have, and those are the things that allow me to not have to tell people how to do things. Right? I don't want to be constantly telling someone how to do that, because otherwise I'm never going to have freedom in my business. So what I do is when we create something, we automate it. How much automation can we get out of that one particular process?
Yeah. So folks that are watching right now might be wondering, now, who does Kelly's company work with? I mean, they're listening right now saying, wow, am I the right person? Is my company the right person? Is this the right time? Take a moment, if you would, and just frame the conversation in terms of the type of clients you or your company's looking to attract. And then how can they best contact you or someone inside your organization, maybe to take the next step?
Perfect. So I work with a couple different kinds of clients, right? So number one, I have a branding agency. So if someone is looking to create a brand that either attracts affluent clients or sets them up to be a thought leader and achieve that pole position in their industry, that is something that we specialize in here at my brand agency. And we do it really innovatively. So we don't do the typical things that typical brand agencies do. We create high profit brands. So if someone is looking for that solution, that's the solution we have available to you. If you are looking to grow and scale your business, right? If you're looking to become the market leader, if you are looking to increase your revenue by multiple 6, 7 figures, I personally do consulting with organizations, with small business owners, primarily in the service-based industries. Although actually one of my biggest clients is actually a medical device. So, you know, I do have outliers to that. I have a background in tech. So I do offer consulting in those, but primarily I am working with service-based professionals, right? So people in, you know, any type of service-based, lawyers, accountants, doctors. I have a lot of doctors that I work with. I work with consultants, coaches, interior designers. I mean, really, it runs the gamut. It runs the gamut. But generally speaking, what they want is they want to create a very highly profitable business that scales, and they want to be known as the leader in the market and attracting affluent clients. That's kind of our sweet spot here at our organization. I also train people in the art of building these types of scalable businesses, and I train people in how to market to affluent clients. So I have several programs that do that in all of the areas that a client would need in order to create that result. So we have a very vast service offering here within our company, depending on what it is that we're looking for. But again, primarily we are working with affluent clients, or with people who want to attract affluent clientele people who want to become thought leaders in the industry, and ultimately they want to scale their business seamlessly without pulling their hair out. And if you're looking to work with me, first of all, I mean, obviously this interview is a good start. I would also say you can, connect with us on social media. Obviously, I'm all over the place. If you go to our website, you can find all my social media. I've got a podcast called the Marketing to Millionaires Podcast. I've got a Facebook group called the Marketing to Millionaires Success Circle, which I believe is what Shay was referencing before. And here's the easiest way, guys. If you want to explore this, go to my website. There is a link that says Work with Kelly, and you can fill out an application and we will get you to the right spot. You don't even need to know what the right spot is. Look, if you want to make more money, you want to become a leader in your field, and you want to attract affluent clientele, fill out the form and we'll figure out if we're a good fit for you. And if we're not, we'll refer you to one of our partners.
I love it, man. Second to last question. This is the Comeback Champion Summit.
Yes.
And this is for individuals who have had some type of setback. And it's not about the setback, but they're on the comeback trail, or they want to be a champion in their marketing, or champion in their business, or a champion with affluent clients. My question is, share what maybe your number one secret is for you when challenging times arise. What principles does Kelly stand on, or what philosophy does Kelly stand on in order to continue to move forward no matter what?
Great question. So let me just tell you, guys, I've been in business for 20 years, and I will tell you that I have made millions and millions and millions of dollars, and I have also lost millions of dollars. You will not have, I've never yet met an entrepreneur that did not have a setback of one level or another, some more catastrophic than others. And I've had all sorts of them. Here's what I will tell you that I would invite you, if you've had a setback in any way, shape, or form, you can't move forward driving out of the rearview mirror, right? And so, at a certain point, you just have to say, all right, it happened, whatever it is. This is where we are today. This is not where we want to be. And you need to go, all right, great. Don't judge yourself for it. Do not beat yourself up. That does nothing. Don't have guilt, shame, whatever. It is what it is, right? And look forward to what it is that you want to create and keep pushing, right? It's like, what is it that, like, great, this is where I am. This sucks. This happened. It's awful, whatever. Where do you want to go next? And then you formulate a strategy to go there. Laying in a pity party is not going to get you there. Beating yourself up is, I've never met anyone that had a amazing comeback by beating themselves up and wallowing in self-pity. Shit happens, move on.
I love it. I love it. Let me first say thank you so much for taking your time. One thing we know, Kelly, is you can always make more money. We know you can always make more money, but you can't make more time. So you're giving us the most precious gift, the most precious resource you have, which is your time. As we close up, I close up with two things. Number one, tell them once again how they can connect with you, so how they can connect with you and how they can find you. And then I'll turn over you to give your closing thoughts and comments to those folks that are listening that now have to go back and they have to execute the plan. They've got to take action on what you talk to. I'm going to encourage all of you, if nothing else, go out to Work with Kelly. I think that's what you said, workwithkelly.com. You can go to her website.
Go to my website, kellyoneil.com, and click on Work with Kelly.
Oh, kellyoneil.com. Okay, sorry.
Yep. KELLYONEIL. Go there. Literally, it will tell you exactly what to do. There's a section there that says, if you're new to Kelly, go here. All my socials there so you can connect with us. Go have a little afternoon perusal over a cup of coffee over my website. And if you want to work with us, then there's a button there that says Work with Kelly.
Wow, she did it. See, she answered the question for me. She's just a pro. Okay, then I turn over you to have your closing comments. And I guess your closing comments can be just sharing your big why, and then close us out. Just why does Kelly get up and do this every single day? She can relax and do something else with her time and energy, yet you're working with entrepreneurs, you're working with small business owners, helping them not only attract affluent clients, not only serve affluent clients, but more definitely make a bigger difference in their own family and a bigger difference in their own community. So over to you to share why you do it, and then we're out. We're done. Thank you again, Kelly. You're amazing. You're incredible, and your team rocks. in all
Thank
seriousness.
you so much. It's my pleasure. So I'm a big believer in living from a place of choice. I grew up in a family where, just so that you guys know, I am like a phoenix. I have risen from the ashes more times than I can count. And one of the things that's really important to me is really, we've got one life on this planet. And I believe that we can all have an extraordinary life, but you have to choose that for yourself. And you have to be clear in what that extraordinary life looks like for you, because maybe my extraordinary life looks different than what your extraordinary life looks like. And so getting really clear about what that looks like and then committing to have it, because here's the thing, we get to have it. You get to live from a place of choice, and then setting up the structures to move you in that direction so that you can just really have an epic life experience. That is what I would recommend for all of you.
With that being said, thank you for joining everybody. Kelly, you rock. We appreciate
Thanks,
you. We'll
Shay.
see you later. God bless everyone. We're out. Peace.